Oh, hey, y'all. Julius, I didn't drop the link yet because a special guest is supposed to be coming through. Okay, so I didn't drop the link yet. A special guest is supposed to be coming through, so we're gonna give it time for this special guest to show up. Okay, if the special guest does not show up, no worries. I got a show planned for us as a backup, and then I will drop the link. Okay, so listen, guys, our special guest that's supposed to be coming through tonight is the author, the one who wrote the book that was taken down by Amazon, Kim's Lost Words. Amazon shut it down because Kim Porter's children said that it wasn't so. They said it was a fake. So Chris Todd is supposed to be coming through and chatting with us about this book, Kim's Lost Words. In addition, he said he wrote another book about Diddy. So we'll get to ask him some questions like how he came in possession of said diary in order to write this book, what makes him an expert enough to have all of this information to even write a book about Diddy, and also how come in this book, Kim Lost Words, some people were named and other people were kept anonymous. Okay, no, Julius, you're fine because he's not here yet. He should be in the building. We will give him a few minutes. But as I stated, if he does not come through in the building, no worries. The train, as you see, has still pulled out the station, and I do have some stories lined up that we could talk about, and we'll just adjust the title and carry on with life. Now, listen, I did this book, Kim Lost Words, over here on my channel. Now, if you saw the latest documentary on Peacock, which Royer and myself recapped, and we did it on both channels. So, Royer, make sure you drop your link in the chat. If you're not a subscriber of Royer's World, you need to go there and subscribe because we collaborate a lot, and we will be collaborating a lot this year. We are doing the reality shows, The Real Housewives of Potomac, Married to Medicine, and then we do specials in between, okay? And we will be doing a monthly trending topics together. So Royer's World, please go over there also, like, subscribe, and share. I do see, in my opinion, in the chat, she also has a channel. So also, please, in my opinion, drop the link to your channel. Listen, guys, in 2025, we got to share the love. We should come up with a theme for every year. Yeah, we got to share the love in 2025. Maybe that'll be my theme, share the love. We got to share the love. So on that note, it's enough room for everybody. We all can survive in these YouTube streets. Now, what I am hoping, as I'm doing random conversation, waiting for our guests to show up, what I am hoping, because I'm hearing that they're trying to ban that TikTok. Listen, I don't really watch TikTok that much. I am on TikTok. I've been trying to merge and do content on both platforms, but I'm hearing that they're trying to ban TikTok in the US. But the reason why I hope it doesn't happen, because I know there's so many content creators over there on the TikTok that is raking in the dough. I ain't one of them, but I don't want to see their lifeline get cut off. I mean, I get it. They're saying that, maybe some sinister things is happening with that, but I think Big Brother watches us through all the social media. I'm talking about Instagram, Facebook, or ShopRite cards and all of that. Oh, Yolanda, much love, okay? So thank you for subscribing over there to Royer's World. We do appreciate you. So thank you for that. And listen, guys, I do have a subscription to my channel. Think about joining this subscription. Much love. Hold on one second, guys. Let me just grab this. I'll be right back. Okay, y'all, I just had to grab that call. That is our guest. Let me invite here. Hold on. So I am going to put the link in the chat, but this is for our guests. Please do not click on it, okay? I dropped that link on our guest was having trouble getting in. So I wanted to just drop that link in the chat for our guests. And then maybe later on after, oh, come on, y'all people. Y'all are beautiful. I love y'all. Oh my God. We're be getting the subbies for you. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I love it. Okay. Thank you guys. I appreciate y'all so much sharing the love on this Friday night. Okay, I'll also pin that link up there. So hopefully, hopefully our guests can come in the building. But listen, guys, hashtag free Wendy Williams. They have a GoFundMe and they have raised, the last I looked, they're only looking for $50,000. The last I looked, they did raise $18,000. They did raise $18,000. So they're getting there. And also today, I dropped the video on this too. Harvey Levine from TMZ. He said he spoke to Wendy and she sounds good. She sounds good. Good enough that I don't know why. Listen, there have been people worse living on the streets by themselves. So why is it that they're so concerned about Wendy and they got her under this conservatorship? And I really think it's because of the simple fact of they're robbing her blind. They're taking her money. Okay. They're taking her money. Yes, they are. Come on now, Roy. Get them subbies. Everybody subscribe to Roy's World. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Julius. All right, y'all. Okay, now at 18. Come on, people. Come on, people. Hit the like button as we wait for our guests to come up. So hopefully that link will work for our guests and they are able to get in the building. Again, if you're just now coming in, we're waiting on Chris Todd, the author of Kim's Lost Words. Amazon pulled it down because her children, Quincy, Christian Combs, and the twins was like, that is not our mother's words. So Amazon did pull it down. He's coming through to talk to us about it. I'm just waiting for him. So I dropped the link and hopefully he can get it now. I'm not quite sure what is going on. But why don't we do this? Because like I said, Wendy Williams is getting support. She is getting support from, different people out there. And if you ever been a Wendy Williams fan or you are a Wendy Williams fan, I think just like we did for Britney Spears, hashtag free Britney. And Britney seems, I cannot say for a fact, Britney seems as if, she is, a little worse off than Wendy. Okay, so our guest is in the building, everybody. Chris Todd is in the building. Okay, so I'm going to bring him on in. So hold on, everybody. Let's welcome our guest. Hold on. I'm going to bring him in. Hi, Chris. How are you?
Hey, how's it going? How are you, Diva?
I'm doing well. Thank you for stopping by the Diva Train. We truly appreciate you coming through and being here. Listen, I did before Amazon pulled down the book. I was able to purchase it. But before I get into that, I got it.
There it is.
There it is. So listen, before we get into that, just tell everybody a little bit about yourself. Okay, wonderful. Tell everybody a little bit about yourself, and then we'll get into some things.
Yeah, for sure. And it's pretty funny because very early on in the beginning, when the Kim Porter stuff started, I watched your channel very early on. Yeah, okay. You're one of the first people. And I think I tried to reach out to you. Maybe you didn't see it.
Okay.
I reached out to another gal. She didn't respond. I don't think I heard back from you. And I was just trying to bounce around because I was kind of new in the community, kind of in this genre.
Right.
So I wasn't really known. I'm known for some other cases.
Okay.
But anyway, so I liked your show and I thought you were really sweet. And I did want to talk to you eventually. So I really appreciate you having me come on. And so I'm glad everybody was excited about the book. So yeah, I'm Chris Todd. I'm an investigative producer, journalist, and author. I live here in LA, and I was fortunate enough to be brought this book memoir that was purported to be by Kim Porter herself. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of stuff that's happened since then. So I can reveal more today about how we got that and who the real celebrity source was. I'm okay to say that now. So
Okay.
yeah, for sure. Yeah. And look, I have a new book that's called Shame on Shay. This is a
Mhm.
follow-up to Kim's Lost Words. So I think you put it in the description. I appreciate that. I'd
Yeah.
love for your fans to check it out. It's a wild ride, and it's a little semi-fictionalized. So it's not about Kim Porter. It's really about the entire saga, the story, the characters, and what I think some of the points, or not the morals maybe, of the Diddy story are. But
Hmm.
that's played out here in my brand new book called Shame on Shay.
Okay. So let's start out, since I actually have this book, Kim's Lost Words. Tell us how you come to receive this, because her children is like, that's not our mom's words. That's, my mom wasn't writing a diary. It's no such thing. So talk to us a little bit about that.
Sure, sure. About, I've told the story too, but for your fans, they may not know, but it was almost like 10 months ago where a gentleman came to me and said, there's supposedly this Kim Porter book or
Mhm.
memoir. And at first I knew who Kim Porter was by name, but I didn't really know. And Diddy wasn't anywhere near arrested. The raids, I don't even think the raids had happened then.
Okay.
Right. So obviously I grew up with the Sean Combs, Biggie, Tupac story because I'm 51 years old. So, and I'm an East Coast kid. So I knew the gangster rap, and I was into all that stuff for a long time. So at first they had shown me like 5 pages of this book, which
Okay.
was called Tell It All. And that's why you see the name Jamal Millwood there. This was Courtney Burgess.
Gotcha.
Okay. So
Mhm.
people thought like, oh, I was playing some race card saying I was a black guy. And that's not what it was. And I said that from very early on, that
Mhm.
the Jamal Millwood is a tribute to Tupac Shakur because Courtney was friends with Tupac, and Tupac's in Kim's book. So he used it as a way he didn't want to put his name on it. He was scared.
Mhm.
And he'll tell you like, oh, I'm not afraid of anybody. If he wasn't afraid of anybody, he would have put the book out without me. Right.
Right.
He didn't need me to do it. So, and then, so from this, I only saw a couple pages of this book. Okay. This one had pictures in it
Okay.
that I removed the photos from. And they
Okay.
didn't want me to. They got kind of upset with me. They're like, why'd you take out the photos and all this stuff? And I'm like, well, I just wanted Kim's voice to be heard.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Mhm.
So over a couple month period, it took some finagling and negotiating between Courtney, and then we had this other guy named Wade, which they've come forward, so we're not revealing anything.
Right.
But I met Wade first through another podcaster, and then Wade and I kind of became friends. We did a couple of interviews together. He has his own channel, Crime and Entertainment, I believe, and he's a cool guy. And it was interesting journey to start out, and then I just started to think, well, what if this is real? Like, what if this really is works from a deceased woman that was abused by Diddy and or saw other abuse of other women, right? And so I finally was able, after a couple of months, I was finally able to read the entire book. And then I was given, by Courtney Burgess, I was given the DocX and the PDF file of this book. And then I turned that book into this.
Okay.
And I had changed some stuff. I X'd out some people. I X'd out the Albie Shore stuff. I X'd out another character in the book. And then I actually edited and kind of tried to help Kim say things at some points maybe a little better or a little more powerful, trying to speak on her behalf a little bit. And that's kind of what I do. A lot of the victims are my clients. So all my clients are deceased. If you look at my cases, like I do cold cases, celebrity and or civilian, and I speak for them. I take a lot of pride in what I do, and I've worked some very famous cases. So I'm going to do what I'm going to do. I'm not going to ask for permission. And that's what I think we brought Kim's story to the world. It was a viral sensation. And, you know, I'll be sure it cost me $500,000. And even other people that I plan to donate money to on behalf of Kim Porter, that money's gone too. So.
Oh, wait, slow down for 1 minute, because you just said I'll be sure it cost you $500,000. What happened with that?
Because this book was only up for 3 weeks.
Uh-huh.
And then it was banned on Amazon.
Right. Because in this book, I'll be sure's name is mentioned. Right.
There's a chapter where Kim talks about Al, her, and Diddy.
Right. So his name is mentioned. So I think I'll be sure was upset about those particular words of him being accused of having relations with Diddy.
But I X'd it out. I didn't.
No, it's in here. I want to say it's clearly, I gotta find the page. It clearly said I'll be sure. I walked in with my son's. Yeah. It clearly
says I'll be sure. Yeah, but what I'm saying, Diva, is this is what I'm saying. It'd be like I wrote a book about you, right?
Okay.
And I wrote a book about a famous case, and you and I had an interaction, right? And I put you in the book through my life rights because I met you, right?
Right.
I don't need your rights. You're in my story, and you could tell your story too, where you met me, right?
Right.
And then I say that, oh, Diva did blank, blank, and blank, blank. And then you turn around and sue me and go, you said, I didn't say anything about you. I said blank, blank. So the only way we say in defamation by implication, there's sometimes people can say, well, you implied that I did something with Diddy. Okay. In a court of law, that's not going to hold up. That's you're violating freedom of speech of Kim, of her to tell her story. Okay. If Kim didn't say that, and let's say somebody else put that in there, like a ghostwriter or the celebrity source, that would have to be figured out. That's not up to me. That's not on me. Okay. I was told it's her stuff. Okay. So, but my point
so what I understand what you're saying, because we read this book over here on my channel. So what I'm saying is, because I was shocked when I read that part. So what I'm saying is I get what you're saying, but it was like in this book, some people's names are not said at all.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, but everything's said in here. So this is the book that Al B. Shore would need to cease and desist or sue, not this book.
Well, I guess what's interesting is Kim's Lost Words was on Amazon. Amazon is a big thing, right? And I think that Tell It All, I think he was selling that just on a website, right? It was not on Amazon. So that's, I think, where the problem begins probably, is because Amazon was a big deal and it went crazy once everybody heard this book was on Amazon, and then everybody on YouTube, you know, a lot of YouTubers got the book and was reading it. And so I think Al B. Shore biggest problem is because he's in that new documentary on Peacock, right?
Yeah.
So he does say that Kim was writing something, you know. So, but I think his major problem with this Kim Lost Words is that it alludes to the fact very clearly that Kim allegedly walked in on him and Diddy having relations. Are they?
Well, they're all together. They're actually together.
They're all together.
Right. It's not, she doesn't walk in on them.
They're together and they asked about doing it. Right. So, but what I'm saying is, I guess that's why he was upset. So, but let's circle back to, you said he cost you $500,000. Is it because in 3 weeks this book sold $500,000 worth of copies?
This book did 1 million gross sales
in 3 weeks.
In 3 weeks. When the book came down, it was making 10,000 net a day.
Wow.
So he turned off my faucet, right? And I know people are like, "Oh, who's this white guy?" Save it. The people, you know what I'm saying. There's too much. So a lot's happened. Okay?
Right.
So my point is, people write books every day. People make movies every day. I don't want to hear anybody say anything about making money on a book. Okay?
Right.
So, and obviously I stuck my neck out for Kim Porter too. Like I really did. So, taking lawsuits, Diddy sending me a cease and desist from jail, the kids sending me one, they sent Courtney one. Come on. I mean, you know, we have a lot of liability potential.
So you got a cease and desist from Diddy from jail?
From Diddy from jail that I never told anybody about.
Wow.
Yeah, it's in my closet. So, but here's my point. So if we did 1 million gross sales in 3 weeks, how much would this book have made in a year? A lot. So if I was to get sued, I'd countersue him. Like nobody, you know, I could have sued him for stopping my book.
Right. So let me back up a little bit, because Courtney on the YouTube streets, Courtney has been found to not kind of tell the truth. He backtracked and apologized to everybody. The tapes he claimed he had, he said he didn't have them. He didn't watch them. He threw them out. Courtney just seemed to prove to be just either backtracking, rolling the train back, or saying, you know, not telling the truth. It's messy with Courtney.
Right. But finish your thought, or is that you want me to take over?
You could take over from there.
Okay. All right. I work a lot of cases, many, over 50. If you look me up and you Google Chris Todd, O.J. Simpson, or you Google Chris Todd investigations or Chris Todd murders, you can learn a lot about what I do. Okay. I've worked with the craziest people you've ever seen in your life.
Okay.
Mafia guys, killers, child killers. I've gone undercover on them. I've baited them. I've tricked them. I've written other books about them. I've done videos, interviews. I broke stories. I revealed OJ's murder accomplice. Okay. And everybody tried to silence me on that all the time. And so as my evolution like this, right, as an investigator, so when I came into this, it pretty much was like, it's game on. I've learned a lot from my other cases. I'm not going to be silenced. I'm not going to be censored anymore by the media or by anyone at all. I will fight for the victims, right? Now, so let's get to Courtney. Courtney is a baller. Courtney is a hustler. And I mean that in a good way. So what I'm saying is, when Courtney says, oh yeah, I threw the tapes in the fireplace, do you really believe that? He might just say that to you because he's got to keep you at a certain level, right? When he told the other guy, oh, that's not my real name. Oh, what's your real name? Your name's not. No, that's not my real name. He's obviously playing a game with people because he's feeling disrespected, right? So when people go, oh, did he get it from Shakir Stewart? Well, Shakir Stewart died in 2008. How could he get the book from? How could Kim write the last chapter in 2008? 10 years before she died. So what Courtney was trying to do is he's trying to protect the source. And I'm not saying he didn't get something from Shakir Stewart. He might have. I don't know. Okay. I'll tell you, your fans right now, Kimora Lee Simmons is the source of the book. Okay. That's who gave Courtney the book. As for the flash drives, the videos, the tapes, most likely that's Kimora too. Okay. Now, they've already said her name. I like Kimora. I don't have a personal relationship with her. I wish I did. Okay. So I'm not doing it in a malicious way. I think she's a bright woman. I call her the praying mantis. And I mean that in a powerful way. I don't mean that derogatory. So I'm
following you. So you know what's interesting to me though?
Yeah.
Regardless of who the source is, why did they choose Courtney?
Because they needed somebody who had balls. They needed somebody in the hip hop community. They needed somebody that was close to Tupac Shakur. They needed somebody that didn't like Diddy, right? He was the perfect person. Now, their relationship goes back years. I don't know how they met. Like, you know, you have to understand, like, look, if you go to Courtney's Instagram, the guy's wearing a fur coat, sitting in like a Maybach, and had a Lamborghini, and owns multiple properties. I don't own multiple properties. I don't own a Maybach.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a Lamborghini. Like, obviously this guy knows what he's doing, right? He's a baller.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I respected him. And we had some blow-ups over time, absolutely. But what I'm saying is give him credit. He doesn't have to reveal everything to everyone of like how he got this, you know, because he told people, well, I didn't read it, right? He goes, I didn't read the book.
Mm-hmm.
So when he pressed it, he just printed it up. And that's why people are like, oh, there's typos. And well, yeah, because if he didn't read it and if he didn't edit it, then that's why there's typos. That's why some of the formatting's off, right? Now, remember, in the beginning of the book, there's a prologue and an epilogue,
Mm-hmm.
a beginning and an end, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's written by Kimora Lee. That's not written by Kim.
Mm-hmm.
I removed that stuff from the book. That's why no one ever saw that, because I didn't want them to hear someone else's voice, like saying, oh, in 2017, Kim gave me this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew this would have to take time to come out. So the real big story, and look, Kimora had chances to come forward. She didn't. And look, she's in deep with Diddy's family. So obviously, if she said to us, I didn't do the book either, then we'd have to investigate who did,
Mm-hmm.
right? This is how these things happen. And that's why I was trying to give my backstory about my other murder cases and cold cases, because this happens all the time. This stuff is not normal. There's a lot of shady stuff that goes on, a lot of secrets, and they get revealed slowly. Like somebody's got to get punched in the face first over here for this secret to come out. You see what I mean? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay, so it's interesting. So with this book, Kim Lost Words, I know you said you removed stuff and, you know, things of that sort. What exactly did you want to accomplish with this? Because there's some salacious stuff in here that, you know, people like, wow. And then there's some names. It's like, okay, we're not mentioning those individuals' names at all. So what exactly did you want to accomplish by writing this Kim's Lost Words?
I think it's twofold or maybe threefold, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's not always one answer. So to me, it was entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
It was shocking.
Mm-hmm.
And it talked about the 90s, what I grew up in.
Mm-hmm.
So when she's talking about Biggie and Diddy and Tupac and Jimmy Henchman and Jamie Foxx, it's like, and Will Smith and Jada, right? I'm like, this is what I grew up in. So it was nostalgic to me, right? Jay-Z's in it, right? Sean Carter. She calls them the two Seans, right?
Mm-hmm.
She says they hook up. Now, so now we take it like this. So at first it's nostalgic to me. I find it entertaining. And then to me, the mystery is, what if it is real? That's awesome. So the combination of those two things alone, I was like, you know, and I prayed on it too. Look, I'm a pretty spiritual person. I know a lot of people don't think I am, but I actually am. And I kind of prayed on it. I thought about it. It took me a few weeks to mull it over, right? Mm-hmm. When I had it I had it all built, right? Before I hit enter on the computer with Amazon, it took a minute, right? To be like, I was going to put my name on it. Then I wasn't. Then I didn't. I left Jamal Millwood on. Diddy wasn't arrested yet. He wasn't in jail. He was a dangerous person. I knew he was. So I just went for it. I said, you know what, put it out there. Now, the last part is this. Mm-hmm. Let me say this. Mm-hmm. This will be fun too. When I did O.J. Simpson's story and case, saga, I noticed that a lot of people, the reporters, the media, they were faster to report a fake story than they were to report the truth. And that affected me. So when I had this book, I'll be really honest with your fans, and I probably never said this before, I didn't care if it was real. And that was trauma for me of what they did to me on O.J. Simpson, Natalie Wood, Emmett Till, Aaron Hernandez, Biggie Smalls, the Zodiac, all these cases that I purported to solve, they never let me do it. And they reported on all the fake BS stories, and it changed me. It made me angry. So
hold on, please. I have to just hold on 1 minute. That concerns me as an investigator.
That's
and
okay.
You say when you got it, you didn't care if it was true or not. That's concerning because let me answer Sasuke first. Sasuke, I believe you said you got it from Courtney Burgess, right? You got the manuscript and the diary. Yeah. All right. So it concerns me because when telling the Diddy story, and the Diddy or Kim Porter, it's a lot of moving parts because they have children, right? Sure. And the children are always a concern to me, whether the children are 10 or the children are 30 or the children are 40. So yes, This is my era too. I'm 54. I'll be 55 in March. So I think about the children and how damaging these conspiracy theories, these uninvestigated or proven thoughts are, to the children. Because listen, what Christian Combs, Quincy Combs, and the twins, not only do they no longer have their mother because their mother has passed on, but now their father is locked behind bars, the only other parent they had. And essentially, when you're behind bars, it's like that parent is gone too. And so they have to process that. But on top of them processing that, they have to process that people keep saying that their father took their mother's life. They have to process all the things that are being said about their father. And when it comes to someone's sexuality, I could care less. But I think the problem a lot of people are having with the Diddy story is not so much his sexuality, what that was or was not, is more of if people were forced to do things against their will. So if I go back to Kim's Lost Word, it tells a lot of stories about him having relations with the same sex. But I don't think, from my memory, it doesn't really talk about a lot of people being forced or whatever. So I'm just wondering, to me, if I write a book about someone else, to me, it would be a purpose. If the purpose was to say, because let's just say allegedly, because I think it was written in there about, Kim Porter allegedly being a part of DV, because, we got to be easy with the words on YouTube, right? So if the purpose is to, maybe help someone not stay long in said relationship, but I'm just trying to say, you caught me off guard when you said you didn't care.
Well, I have an answer for you.
Okay.
So let's remember this. Remember in Kim's book, what she says herself. I know this is going to hurt my children, but I have to tell my story. See, so when she says that and I read that, that's green light. See, she's already saying it. I already know it's going to hurt my children. She says it. It's in writing. So that, to me, that gave me permission there. What I mean when I say is I don't care if it's true or not, because let's do it this way, Diva. Let me do it this way. Okay? How do you prove that book's real?
You can't, because Kim is no longer here.
Right. So as I did all my homework, my investigating for months, right? Courtney's background, Wade's background, Kimura's. I did a whole night of all Kimura Lee. The whole night, all night long. I didn't go to bed. Watched everything, show, article, lawsuit, husband, divorce, read everything about her, right? Okay. How could we prove that's actually Kim's book? We can't. It's almost impossible, because whose word are we taking, right? We're taking Courtney Burgess's word, right? Okay. Who has a docx and a PDF file. Where did he get it from? Let's say he got it from Kimura. Where did Kimura get it from? How do we know Kim gave it to Kimura? We don't. There's no way to prove it. So that's what I'm saying is, when people are always like, evidence is a loaded term. Sometimes you have to take a leap of faith. You have to believe something. So I believed enough. Go for it. And if it turns out to be fake, I'm willing to put my name behind it. And at that point, I say, well, it was for entertainment. So as an investigator with what I do, I go deep into these things, undercover, do a lot of weird stuff. Okay. I believed it enough through my investigation that Courtney and Kimora got this from Kim Porter.
Okay. So I know you said, Courtney, he came through you. Were y'all going to share the proceeds from Amazon?
We did share, yeah. We've been paid, yeah.
Oh, y'all been paid?
Yeah, our money was released. Thank the Lord that Amazon released our money to us, yes.
Okay, so y'all did get paid and y'all split the proceeds.
Yeah, there was more than just me and Courtney. There was a couple other people too.
Understood. Okay, so several people shared the proceeds from
Correct.
this Kim's Lost Words.
And I planned on doing a scholarship for Kim Porter. I'd said that before.
Mm-hmm.
But then Al B. Shore goes off and turns the faucet off. And then throws me in lawsuits with people and Amazon writing me letters saying, oh, we may have to take you to court. Thanks, Al. Like, thanks a lot, dude. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, I X'd out your stuff for you. The book's, I'll be sure this book is not about you. It's about Kim Porter. It's not about you. You're in one chapter for 2 pages.
But you gotta understand, Chris, there are 2 damaging pages.
There's, what's damaging in that book about Al B. Shore? There's like 3 sentences. Mm-hmm. And it's implied. It's not even said. Now, let me ask you this. Let's ask you this, Diva. Mm-hmm. How do we know it's not true? Just because, Al said it didn't happen, that means it didn't happen? No. As an investigator, that's not how it works. So if he did a lawsuit, we'd have to investigate, did he ever hook up with Diddy? We'd have to ask other people. We'd have to depose Sean Combs. See, that's what people have to be careful with lawsuits. It's like you're suing yourself. Once you sue somebody, you are opened up to everything.
No, that I totally understand. But Best IPK said it the best. The entire book was salacious, damaging, and dark. I understand Al B. Shore's position. True or not, I understand his position, right? I'm in the book. There's other people that are alleged about. Their names are not named, but it clearly says, my baby daddy, Quincy's father, and then my new man, Diddy, and then these things happen. So what's written about him is very damaging. I do understand that. People, this world has a thing where they're obsessed with other people and who they sleep with, right?
Well, and I want to say this real quick. Keep your thought. I'm going to say it real short. Keep your thought. Mm-hmm. These people are public figures that are celebrities that are millionaires. They're multi-millionaires. Diddy was almost a billionaire. His kids go on yachts, drive crazy cars, and live in huge houses. Okay? This is part of the deal. This is what happens. There's many books about Marilyn Monroe. And like Courtney says too, what about Tupac's family? What about Tupac's mom when he got killed? And that Diddy may have set that in motion. What happened to her? What about all Tupac's fans? You see what I'm saying? What happened to Chris Lighty? What about his family? What about Shakir Stewart? Andre Harrell? Heavy D? What about all the other people associated close? What about Al B. Shore when he got poisoned and went into a coma for 20 days? What about him? Like, so that's what I'm saying. These people can say like, oh, these are my family, these are my kids. Well, this is part of the game. With fame comes a hurricane. That's in one of my other books. I deal with, I'm not even famous. I deal with crazy people recording me, coming after me. So I just wanted to squeeze that in.
Okay, you squeeze that in. So that's Kim's Lost Words. I'll move away from that for 1 minute. And I know that you have written another book, and you said this book is kind of what? Tell me about this other book.
So Shay is a story that intertwines the characters, which are semi-fictionalized, that were on this journey with us. There's a lot of Easter eggs in here that only the Kim Porter fans are going to understand. There's a few things in here that I put in there that connect to this entire Diddy saga. Okay? So it's just shame on Shay. They say Hollywood is full of predators. You ain't seen nothing yet. So that's the tag. And then just in here, it says, based on a perverse and violent true story. And I'll just show you, I'm not going to read from it. I just show you some of the chapters. Jamal Mills, PI, Jungle Love, Cheyenne Candy, Damn Strippers, Celebrity Trap, Serpent Shay, Baited and Hooked, The Devil You Know, Pandora's Box, Spy Games, The Black Hand, Devil's Playground, and Endgame. So it's a fun ride. And I think the reason I wrote the book was for the fans of Kim's Lost Words. I feel like they are left wanting something else because this is not over. This trial is not probably going to happen in May. There's new people getting indicted in 2-3 weeks. There's going to be a superseding indictment, and there's going to be new co-conspirators named. There's over 40 lawsuits against Sean Combs. Okay? Civil lawsuits. This is going to go on for years. And I wanted to have one of the first books to come out that details somewhat my story and somewhat kind of Courtney's story. But again, this is not, you don't see Sean Combs' name in that book. You don't see Kim Porter's name in that book. You don't see my name. The names have been changed. This is not a book with liabilities on real people. It's a story that I told as a writer.
Okay, understand. Did the feds reach out to you for anything?
I cannot comment on that.
Okay, no problem. All right. So when it comes to, I know you have said that, Kimora Lee Simmons is the one who maybe perhaps allegedly gave this information to Courtney, and they wanted, I guess the powers that be wanted her words out there. At this point, with her words being out there or getting her words out there, I'm trying to figure out what everybody kind of wanted to accomplish.
What I think, there's more than one thing to accomplish. And I'll say this, when you tip over one domino piece, right, it's going to knock down a lot of pieces. It takes one person to flick the first one over, or all those other pieces stay there forever. They never fall. This was partly to flick a domino over, to stir, to create a brush fire and see if it turned into a forest fire. That's what it was. It's part entertainment. It's part truth. It's part for Kim Porter. It's for other victims, right? And it's salacious, yes. But remember, this is the business we're in LA. In Hollywood, I worked in Hollywood for 20 years. I was taught this. The more shocking it is, the better. The more controversial it is, the better. And it just keeps going more. So, look, I feel, to me, to be real honest with you, I think God gave it to me. He did. He gave it. He brought this to me for Kim. Because, look, Kimora and Courtney have a lot more money than I do. They have a lot more fame than I do. Then why didn't they do it themselves? See? So I was put in this position and I did it.
Okay, understood. Anybody, Best IBK said, how will you compromise?
How was I compromised?
Uh-huh.
I mean, I don't really claim to be compromised. And I also don't claim, I don't blame them for putting me in that position. So I don't know if I'm interpreting her question exactly how she's asking it, but I don't have any regrets, because compromise means like somebody tricked you or something changed on you. Like you know what I mean? Yeah. So I felt I was a fall guy in a way, but I knew that very early on. And I even told Wade that. I had a lot of conversations with Wade away from Courtney before I met Courtney. I didn't know Courtney in the beginning at all. They wouldn't tell me who he was. They just said, you got to just run with it. And I'm like, well, can I finally said, I need to get as close as humanly possible to Kim Porter. Right. So that's as close as I get. I didn't get to meet Kimora. I didn't get to talk to her. So
did you try to talk to, as an investigator, did you try to perhaps find any outside of Kimora Lee Simmons, any of Kim
Yeah.
Porter's other friends?
Yes, I did.
Did you
Yeah.
speak to? Did you speak to?
Nobody would talk to me. I went to a lot of people. I went to a lot of agents, producers, music executives, writers, rappers. Nobody would talk to me. Nobody. They're like one person. I'm not going to say who they are. Nobody would talk to me. They were scared. I whispered to a couple people. You know, they're talking about putting this book out about Kim Porter. They're like, no way, dude, no way. And I was like, what's up? Like, and remember, as an investigator, when people tell you no, it makes you perk. You kind of perk up. Like, what's everybody so afraid of?
Mm-hmm.
So it was like this process. Yeah, nobody was helpful. So I at that point I had to just either go for it or not. Right? Courtney could have put it out himself. Like he had printed his own version of this.
Mm-hmm.
He had given this to other people to sell, like out of the back of their car.
Mm-hmm.
It just didn't work. You can't do it. He might have sold a couple hundred copies, but there's 320 million Americans. And half of those people have the ability to buy books, read books, you know? So I think it's an important story. And I think it's become a part of pop culture.
Mm-hmm.
It really did. I mean, it was a wild ride and it's not over. There's going to be more stuff coming out. I know there is.
Yeah, it's definitely a wild ride, and this whole.
Oh, someone called Courtney a liar. What's up, Bed Stew BK? What's
That's
going
not
on?
BK. Well, many people, that's not BK is not the only one. Many people, because Courtney himself. So Courtney did went on a whole lot of YouTube channels when people started to question him. And he himself on these channels apologized to Albie Shore, started to backtrack on his words, claimed he didn't see this, seen that. So of course people are going to call him a liar, because he himself got on channels saying that he didn't watch tapes, he didn't do this, he threw them out, he didn't really have it. So if these words are coming out of his own mouth, the people are going to call him a liar.
I told him not to come forward. I warned him. And the reason he came forward, and he tells the story too, because of me.
Mm-hmm.
When we had kind of an argument or a fight, and he tells the story to Matt Cox and to, I think, another, maybe Sean Atwood right after. He tells that story of like, I was being extorted. Nobody's extorting me. So I came out, I extort myself. Okay. What he was trying to say is that it was me he was talking about. So when I said, look, when things get really heated in a murder case, okay, you're not always friends with the sources, man. You're not. Sometimes you got to flip them. Mm-hmm. That's just part of the game. That's why the last chapter in there's a chapter called Spy Games, mm-hmm. and the last chapter is called End Game, because it's not what you think it is. I'm not best friends with Courtney Burgess. I look up to him. I will always stick up for him. Okay. But at certain moments, I have to do what I have to do. So I told him it's not extortion. He's using the wrong word. Extortion involves money. I didn't ask him for any money. I didn't force anything out of him. He was trying to say I was going to out Kimora if he didn't start giving me everything. That's what it came from. The next day, he was on an interview. Literally, the next day. And I was like, what are you doing, dude? Oh, you said you were going to... I said I was going to. Doesn't mean I was going to. Oh, it's too late now. I go, okay, man. And I think Courtney likes the fame. You know, he got on News Nation. How did Courtney get the lawyer? Me.
So you know Ariel Mitchell Kid?
Yeah. That's how they got together, because of me. Okay? And I thought they were a good fit because Ariel, she likes the media. She's kind of a hustler herself in a good way. I bonded with her. Then she went dark on me. That's fine. Spy Games. You go dark on me. You're now vulnerable. That's it. You know.
So Ariel Mitchell Kid stopped talking to you
out of the blue. Once I gave her Courtney, she ran. She just stopped talking to me, and I was not happy with that. I was not cool with that. You know, you don't do that. You don't ignore my calls. Don't get all Hollywood. I'll burn you. This is what I do. I burned the craziest people in the world. I will burn her. She's threatening people with lawsuits. Oh, you're saying this. It's like, slow down. Okay. You have enough fame. You got on News Nation. You talked about tapes. Yeah. Where do you think she got that info from? Me. So a lot of this stuff came from me. That's what people don't understand.
So are there really some said tapes that have this damaging information on it, or this damaging stuff with Diddy?
Yes.
So you have personally seen these tapes?
I cannot comment on that.
Mm-hmm.
I will just say, let me just say this. I believe what Courtney gave the federal government, there's a lot of highly explosive things on those tapes. I don't know what's on the tapes. Okay. I just don't want to comment about like what I've seen, what I know. Remember this thing? They just said Cassie had 9 tapes. They showed 9 tapes of Cassie. Somebody better figure out, are those Courtney's tapes? Or is that Cassie's tapes?
No, they're Cassie tapes. If they were the Diddy's lawyer said,
how do you know that?
Them. Diddy's lawyer said he already viewed them and there was nothing on it.
But hold on.
Mm-hmm.
No, he didn't say there's nothing on them.
He said it was Cassie and Diddy having relations
with other people.
Yeah, but you know what? If 5 people get together and they want to get together and do what they do, that's what they do.
So, so are we to believe that Cassie got a $20 million settlement, whatever it was, and she also handed over tapes? She would have signed an NDA. She's not allowed to do that. It'd be like, you give me $20 million and then I go stab you in the back. That's not how settlements work. So what I'm saying is, I have a source saying right now, those are Courtney's tapes. The reason Agnafilo's saying they're Cassie's tapes, because he ain't seen them all yet. See, the federal government, they don't have to show them everything yet.
You got to show your stuff in discovery.
Yeah, but they haven't given him all the discovery yet.
But they're going to have to give it to him.
If they use it in the trial. Let's say there's.
So Chris, hold on one second. So this is my problem with the whole case, and I had said this from the beginning when they first raided Diddy homes. When they first raided Diddy homes, everybody was like 3-4 days later, they coming to get him. He's about to get arrested. I said, no, he's not about to get arrested. And you want to know why? Because in my opinion, I don't know anything for a fact. When they went in that home, they did not get what they wanted to get and see what they wanted to see. They would have put it out in the indictment in the first place. They would have put it out when they first indicted him. Here's the other problem I have with.
Well, let me make a comment about that. If you can keep your train of thought.
I can.
A comment.
Mm-hmm.
They will not put key evidence in indictments or probable cause. They will not.
So you trying to tell me that they will put out about 1,000 bottles of baby oil, but they will not, if they saw him actually, having relations with children, seeing people in these videos.
They're not going to tell you that.
Okay, I don't.
No.
We'll come to a middle ground here, and I'm going to tell you that I don't believe it. I believe off the bat, if they had so much damaging evidence against Diddy,
cards too early.
No, this is not TV. This is not.
I know, but
this is not TV. Yes.
Let me say this.
Come on now, Best IBK. They did it in the Mike Jeffries case. They sure did. I don't believe that they're waiting to throw some aha card out on Diddy. I also believe, this is just diva belief, I believe they call the what's his name? What's that darn Busby? That Tony Busby.
Yeah.
I believe they call Gloria Allred. I believe they call Lisa Bloom, and that's when we got all of these shenanigans thrown in there because they're looking for the minors. I'm still waiting on the minors in the Diddy case. And just because I'm waiting for them, that doesn't mean that I'm saying this man is innocent. He didn't do nothing.
Right.
Where the minors at though?
I'll stick up for you and Diddy for a second, if that sounds normal.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Okay. To me, I don't think Diddy would be dumb enough to film minors.
Hello.
Right. I've said that from day one.
Hello. Okay.
If
Uh-huh.
they're now the lawsuits when they say like the 10-year-old and the 16-year-old,
Uh-huh.
okay, I don't think some of them say they were taped.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I've never seen that. I don't think that exists. But here's
Mm-hmm.
my point. But
Okay.
when you're the feds though, and
Uh-huh.
you're FBI, Homeland Security,
Uh-huh.
ATF,
Right.
but I'm gonna tell you right now, they don't need us. And if you don't think they could go through his phone, if you don't think the government can see what you're doing,
They can. They
they
see.
can.
Listen, Big Brother is watching all of us.
Yeah.
Well, what I'm saying, well, let me add this to the story, Chris.
So if they see one text, one picture, something that even they're going to present that and say, this guy slept with minors. Okay.
Listen,
and here's our proof.
I'm connecting with you, right? But what I'm saying to you is, if they had this big aha, they would have gave it to us. I think all the muddiness that they're throwing out there is they want to destroy his name in the public opinion, so that when they come with their little trinkets of evidence or whatever, everybody's already going to consider him a monster. Where are they going to get an impartial jury for this trial? I don't know. They got to go to Africa or something. I don't even know if they could go to Africa, because with this Diddy things, it has crossed cultural boundaries. And when I say that, I mean that everybody who's anybody is now covering this Diddy thing. And these same individuals didn't necessarily cover the hip hop world like that before. But when it comes to this Diddy story, it has crossed so many boundaries. And all I'm saying is this: if their thing was so rock solid, they wouldn't have just victim number one. Victim number one in this case is Cassie Ventura. Right. If this man was such the monster that everybody said he was, can we get some more victims? It should be not just Cassie. It should be lined up and laced up front with all of these other victims. And again, I have to tell people, not just you, I also tell everybody, because when I first started covering this, people was like, is Diddy paying you? Diddy's not paying me. I don't know Diddy. I don't know these people. I just do the story, the trending topic for what it is, and I use my brain. And like I said, if they were so rock solid, they wouldn't have waited all of those months to indict him and arrest him.
Okay, a couple things. I'm going to say a couple things. Okay. Joe Pistone was an undercover FBI agent for 6 years in the mob. 6 years. That's how long that investigation was. The federal government moves like molasses. If you notice, like after the raid of Diddy, they didn't arrest him for like 6 months.
I know.
Okay. So now here's the other thing. We don't know what they have. These people have access to things you and I could never get. They can they can do a title. They can do a Title III on your phone and listen in on your phone through a judge. You'll never know your phone's tapped at all.
Listen. I'm not removed from that. I don't disagree with you. Here's where I run into problem with the Diddy thing. I do believe, these are diva thoughts, that there were high level people. He couldn't have got away with this alone. They never do, right? Sure. So, but again, here's my other problem. Before I get into all that, here's my other problem. Where's the enterprise? You're charging this man with RICO. Where's the enterprise? Where are the people that
it's coming?
Well, we've been waiting a long time.
I know, but but this is my other point too. Let me say this real quick. When I did Delphi, it was a case of 2 little girls that got essayed and murdered.
Okay.
The defense, when the state puts its case out there, they can't say too much. They don't reveal their cards. The defense comes out and makes up all these crazy things. They had these Odinists and 5 other guys did it. And we had to listen to this crap for a year. And it was harmful, painful to us that fought for justice for Abby and Libby. Okay. The same thing's happening here. Agnafilo's getting off. The daughter of Garagos is getting off. Diddy didn't do anything. Oh my God, this is consensual. We just watched the tapes. Now we got to be re-victimized. All these girls are getting re-victimized because of Agnafilo saying he didn't do anything. This guy's a great guy. And they're taking the media and they're using that. So what I'm saying is you're getting caught up in that defense tornado. Pretty soon, that tornado is going to get blown away. okay, and doused down. I'm telling you, they have RICO charges on Diddy. You can go to jail for life. Okay, that's how they got the mob. The mob, those RICO laws were created by Giuliani against the mob.
I
That's
know.
what that. So
I'm originally from New York. Listen, I'll say this, right? Time will tell with this Diddy case, but I think is definitely bigger than we all know. I think there are a lot of people involved that they want to save and cover up. And
some of those people are going to flip too. Look, we don't know. Did they go to Clive Davis and tell Clive Davis, you're on tape? You're on the tapes. Did they go to Kevin Hart? You're on the tapes. LeBron James, Kobe Bryant. Everybody's on the tapes.
What tapes? Where they at?
Everyone's on the tapes.
But where are they?
The feds have them.
So they're protecting certain people.
Yes, they have to. They're not trying to take down an industry.
So
let's say LeBron James is on the tape and you're the prosecutor, right? And you see LeBron James on tape. You just going to run it to the jury? No, you're not. You're going to send a couple agents to his house. You're going to knock on his door. And you're going to say, we need to talk to you. And we're going to show you something. And we can help you. These are victims of Diddy. Diddy filmed these people without
knowing. So I got to do a pause 1 minute, Chris. We're talking, right? So let's do a pause 1 minute. So Diddy alone victimized tens and thousands of people alone. If these people were there and they watched it, are they not part of the problem too? Forget about names. If these people were there and they watched it, they're not a part of the problem.
They are, but I'm talking about cameras being hidden in chandeliers. I'm talking about cameras being hidden all over the house.
Okay, so wait, let's do this, Chris, because no matter what circle you are in, okay, forget about Hollywood. No, hold on. Forget about Hollywood. Okay. Even Diva with her little circle. When somebody's in my little circle and they're a little off, we all know about it, we all hear about it, and we all talk. If Diddy has been taping people for years, because even 50 Cent has said at one time he got a video and it showed Cassie and he was like, oh my God. So hold on. He said that, right?
Yep.
So if this was known, if he was filming people for years and blackmailing them, people had their talk. Why would you go to a Diddy house in a party if you know that the word on the curve is that he secretly films and tapes people? You're going to find yourself at a party as a celebrity. Okay, maybe I can get the people on the side. As a celebrity, if you know this man, if the word on the curve is he secretly films people, you're going to find yourself at a party. Unless you are part of the problem, once you hear something crazy about somebody, be like, nah, I ain't eating at their house. I'm not going to their house because this is what I heard. People in the industry knew about Diddy way before any of us did.
And they still went.
Well, then they're part of the problem.
Yes, some of them are. Absolutely. I'm not disagreeing with you. Okay? Like a lot of people say Ashton Kutcher, right? They talk about him, right? He's mentioned in some other lawsuits also, and he's mentioned with other sources that I've talked to. He's mentioned too. So is Kevin Hart. So is Snoop Dogg. There's a lot of people, Clive Davis. Okay? A lot of people say their names. Here's my point. Now, this is what I'm getting at. When they had Epstein, you don't think those people knew about Epstein? Yeah, they did know about him. Okay? They didn't say anything, did they, for 20 years? What about Harvey Weinstein? Did girls keep going to his hotel room for 20 years? Yup. See, everybody in the celebrity world, I've been studying this. I've been involved in it. I know many celebrities. I worked in Hollywood for 20 years. I saw a lot of this stuff. Okay? I wanted to be these people at one time. Okay? Here's my point. Say you can go to the best party in the world and the hottest women and men are there and the best drugs and the best alcohol. Are you going to go? Yeah.
No, I'm not.
Well, not you, Diva, but
yeah.
Maybe not me and you.
Listen. Here's the thing. The problem I'm having with this whole thing with Diddy is, how is it Operation Save Everybody Else but throw one man under the bus?
I understand.
You can't clean up the streets by just throwing one man under the bus.
But
you need to take all the predators down with him. Shut the whole Hollywood down. Go ahead, I'm listening.
Okay, but I know, but I'm gonna now. I have to stick up and come at you and go, Miss Diva. I need to talk. Let me knock on your door. Can we have a conversation? Hi, I'm the president of Lionsgate, right? You know, on those tapes are a lot of my clients, a lot of my actors. We're a $55 billion industry. And you know, if a few people get caught and Sean Combs goes down, well, then that's what has to happen. Miss Diva, are you trying to take down the whole industry? Are you trying to hurt everybody in Hollywood? Or you
no, I can agree something like that is going on. But the other problem I have is, then get this housekeeper, the one that they called his Ghislaine Maxwell.
Yes.
Why are we letting her get away with it? They're claiming that she was the one that told the people walk around with the fanny packs and always have the substances in there in case he bumped into you. Why are we letting her get away with it? There are some more lower level people outside of the celebrities, because you don't want to take down this $1 billion industry, that should have already been named.
They may be named, but I feel you. I get it. You're saying, like, look, I'm the same way. I have this source I deal with all the time. Okay. I go to a couple people that help me, yell at me. I love it. They yell at me and scream at me. You can't do this. Here's my point. The girl you're talking about, she may get arrested. Or is she cooperating? We don't know.
She's cooperating. No, listen. I'm sure they cut a deal with her, but my problem is, why we cutting 55 deals is RICO. It's an enterprise. Somebody else needs to be charged in the enterprise.
They are.
Be RICO. Who's charged? I didn't hear nobody.
No. It's coming. It's coming.
When? The trial's supposed to be May. When is coming?
And that trial's not happening in May. They said February 1st, March 1st. So they wanted March 1st. Now they're saying Feb 1. I don't know when it's going to happen. The government was saying.
I always heard May 5th, 2025, this thing was going to start.
They tried to do March 1st. And then Agnafilo goes, no. We need it now, February 1st. That's what they're fighting. This is what they do, Diva. They fight over the motions and the filings and the dates. This is going to go on for 2 years.
I don't know if he's going to last. I don't know if he's going to last in jail for 2 years.
Look, here's the scariest thing. This is the scary thing. All right. So when the Epstein tapes or the Epstein list, and everybody was like, we got to get the Epstein list, right? And they started to figure out who was on that list. They're like, wow, that's a lot of people. I had a source that I talked to as another investigator, and I didn't believe him at first. And I said, who's on the Diddy list? Start saying the names. Show me. Tell me. Prove me. You know what he said to me? He goes, everybody. Everyone. And I'm like, what do you mean everyone? He goes, everyone. Oprah. I'm like, no. Oh, they showed me a picture of Oprah at the party.
Well, no, everybody's showing these pictures of people at the party. I'm not falling down that rabbit hole because, listen, there's no one that didn't attend probably one of his white parties.
The white parties.
Because you got a picture of me at a white party don't mean I was doing the sinister part of it. So I don't, these pictures of people at the party, they mean nothing to me. They could go in the trash.
But what did you say before, though? What did you say before? You said, what if they're there, right? And they know about it and they knew he was doing this. Should Oprah be showing up at the party? At all? I don't care what time it is.
Listen, I'm tired of them trying to call Oprah, Tyler Perry, and all these big names because they got the pictures. No. If the government is saying that these freak-offs was so sinister and they got a video, listen, this Mike Jeffries, they said clearly in the indictment that he hired a security company and the people could not leave out the doors until him and his partners said they can go. They said clearly that these men were being injected with Viagra and stuff like that, so that they would have emotion, body function, and perform. This was clear. With Diddy, everything is alluded to. Oh, he forced them to do this and drink this. Here's the thing with this baby oil, which I thought was the most insane and stupid thing I ever thought. If I'm dousing you with baby oil that has all of this stuff in it, and then I'm getting on top of you, is this not going to get on me and impact me also? Like, this is just stupid. So this whole 1,000 of bottles of baby oil, and this I know for a fact, I don't believe in this, oh, they're waiting to hit us with a whammy. If they tested that baby oil and it had a smidgen of a substance in it, they would have told us already that the baby oil was tested and it had XYZ in it, because they're allowing all these other salacious stories to run the street. And matter of fact, where's Tony Busby with the 10-year-old? And Tony Busby, a lot of his cases is falling to trash, okay? Ariel Mitchell kid had that Andrea English. Her story has fallen to trash. Gloria Allred, she went dark on us. She had that woman, and she did the press conference, and then she blamed the bodyguard, and then we come out later and find out she's a whole lie because there was text messages. I want some truth. We need to grab onto some truth.
Well, you're going to have to wait.
Now is full of it.
You're going to have to wait for the trial to get what you really want, is what I'm saying. Okay. The baby oil thing, I'll say this too. To me, the baby oil story is more of like a meme, and it's more like, it's like giving it to the sheep, to the public, of like some dumb story. Because I'm with you. I don't think the baby oil was loaded with GHB. I really don't. I don't.
I know it wasn't, because one thing I know is they want to slam Diddy for sure. So if they caught and tested that oil and there was a smidgen of something in there,
I don't even know why. Look, I don't even know why they were saying that. I guess what they were alluding to was he had 1,000 bottles of baby oil. First of all, it's not illegal to have baby oil, so I don't know what that means. But I guess he was trying to say these are sex parties. There's prostitutes, male and female. That's what the sex trafficking cross state lines is, which becomes FBI jurisdiction and Homeland Security. Then they're looking for minors. Absolutely. Okay. But look, even if they just say, look, even if they do sex trafficking, there's a lot of new laws with that. He's looking at 15, 20 years just on that. Just if he hired a bunch of call girls and call boys to cross state lines, that is part of RICO too. That is, like you said, an enterprise dealing in illegal activities and profiting from it. He could have been charging people. He's paying these people too. So he's already, then you throw in the guns with the serial numbers, the assault rifles with the
that didn't, I'm gonna be honest with you, that didn't move me either, because they found a couple, and you got another rapper who had Armageddon in his house more than Diddy. I mean, I don't know. It's just a lot of salacious stuff. But I want to circle back a minute, so we could kind of tie things together and wrap things up. So with Kim's lost words, to me, if I were to get a hold, let's say I had a hold of, this diary that it was supposedly Kim was writing, and she wanted to get it out. And she, she had an idea that, Diddy allegedly was trying to take her life, or whatever the case may be. The way I personally would have put out a book is I would have approached it on the thing, because there's a lot of male and females, I'm going to say, we hear about it a lot with the females, because sometimes a lot of males don't talk up, that are in these DV situations, that are in very scary situations, and they stay in them for years and decades. And a lot of them, they end up losing their lives because they don't know how to get out of said situation. I think in order to help the people and to get Kim's lost words out, I think I would have approached it that way. That's just a thought process, right? I would have approached it that way. And to me, I said on my channel plenty of times, for the love of the kids, right? Because we don't choose our parents. We get who we get. Because their mother is gone and now their father's in all this trouble. I personally, but a lot of my subscribers disagree with me, but I personally feel like that whatever happened to Kim, we can't change it. And unfortunately, if Diddy did do something to her, There's enough other stuff that he can go down for. I feel like people should leave that road alone.
Yeah,
because the last thing these kids need to find out is that their mother is not here as a result of their father. I feel like we should leave that road alone.
I know, but let's remember that. Say I never put out the book. Say I never put it out.
Right.
Have you read some of these civil lawsuits against Diddy?
Yeah, and some of them, and listen, and trust me when I say this, Chris, I don't think this man is just innocent. I do not.
No, but I mean, but you didn't.
I read a ton of them. We did them on my channel.
But
so
you get my point.
No, give me a minute, because I'm gonna go down this road with you. Give me a minute. So I read a lot of them, and listen, at first I got a lot of smoke over here, because when I read Little Rodney's lawsuit on here, people wanted to slice my throat. They was like, you are loving Diddy. I'm like, no, I'm reading this and I'm telling you that this is messy. If me as a girl, I could see a child, because people get groomed, people get taken advantage of. And sometimes as a child, you can find yourself in a situation and you don't know how to back out. Right. But Little Rodney, as a grown adult, see, the problem is we can never covet it and love money. I tell people over here on my channel all the time that there's nothing wrong with living in a studio apartment. If that's what you can afford and you're living there honestly, right? But people coveted money, and they look up and they will allow somebody that has money to do something to them that somebody they didn't have the money, they wouldn't allow it. Nobody's going to work for Target for a year and not get paid. Little Rodney, his own words in the lawsuit, worked for Diddy for a whole year and didn't get paid. I don't need to stay in your house to work for you. Little Rodney stayed in the house with Diddy and wasn't getting paid. This man allegedly violated him from the door. As a grown person, and I'm supposed to be working, I'm not staying with you, and you're violating me. And I'm allegedly seeing with my own eyes that you're spiking drinks and taking advantage of other people. And then I'm going to sit there and think that you're not going to spike a drink and take advantage of me.
Now, so let me ask you, why did Little Rod stay?
For the money, to be connected to a celebrity.
And for fame.
For fame.
For fame, to be rich. And he was willing to do anything, right? And that's what Damian Williams talked about, the U.S. attorney, right? Of how Sean Combs had promised people all the time without paying them to do things for him. This was his M.O.
Yeah, that might have been his M.O., Chris, but let me tell you this. If Target would have promised those same people to work for them 30 days, 60 days,
they'll be gone.
They'd be gone. They'd be gone. So I'm not victim shaming, but I am saying this. You cannot sell your soul to the devil and then come ask the public for a refund.
Ooh. You just went Cat Williams Shay on me.
Well, listen, I'm trying to tell you.
You're good. That's
yeah,
good.
you cannot do that. So you're going to sit there and you're going to do this, and now you want to come to us and you want us to correct your moral compass. Right. You want to, there's no job in this world you're going to sit there and not get paid for a whole year.
You know what, too? You know what, like Adria English, in a way, what you're saying applies to her, too, right? She was involved with Diddy. She calls herself She Diddy. Literally.
But she's another one, Chris, because listen, I love Tasha K. Tasha K get these interviews. Right. Tasha K is doing an interview with Andrea English, estranged husband, ex-husband, they getting a divorce or whatever the case may be. And her own husband is calling her a liar.
Oh, is Tasha K interviewing the ex-husband?
She already interviewed him. It's on her app, her own personal app.
Oh no.
Yeah. Oh. So here's the problem with a lot of these people that are suing. A lot of their lies are coming out. See, that's the other thing too. When you go to sue, like you said earlier, you're exposing yourself to. You putting yourself out there. You're leaving yourself open, right, for the scrutiny and the judgment. And that's not to say that you shouldn't do it. This just like with Don Richard, they got text messages saying, she's saying he's the devil, but then you was texting him saying, when we getting the band back together. I mean, which one is it? Is he the devil and you don't want to deal with the devil no more? Or was you willing to deal with the devil?
You know what?
Go ahead.
You know what I think too? I think I call them disgruntled employees. So when I do I've been a whistleblower myself, Okay, with literally with police, federal and local. I have. I've been a whistleblower. So what I'm getting at is like the best whistleblowers are usually disgruntled employees. So what I mean is they do work for Diddy. They did, like Dawn Richard. She worked for Diddy. Adria English, she worked for Diddy for years. All now, like you're saying, now they're coming out many years later, pay up. Right? So I think it's just part of the game. And they're the only people that can really tell us the truth because they're the ones on the inside, just like Joe Pistone. You don't think Joe Pistone committed crimes with the mafia if he was with these guys every day for 6 years? You bet your ass he did. He did commit crimes, but the government let it slide because we're going to bust 25 guys right? After. They busted like 60. So my point is, this is how I feel. This is my personal opinion. I like Adria English. I like Little Rod. I believe some of the people are fake. The Jay-Z girl, I don't think she's real. I don't. Okay. We found out that Lamisha was fake. Lamisha Fuller. Okay? I believe if Adria English and Little Rod, if they did a couple things wrong here and there, I'm okay with it because I think they're going to try to help us take down the devil. And we need them. I know there's a lot more Adria Englishes out there, and I hope more come forward. There's hundreds of her. There's hundreds of these girls, but I think some are dead, some won't talk, some are afraid, and some stick up for Sean too. I mean, so
see, here's the thing though. It's not just Sean. It's not just Diddy. It to me, and I get what you're saying. You can't take down a $55 billion industry, but if you leave the other little worker bees, so to speak, for lack of a better word now, out there, the work is still going to happen in research.
It's never going to stop.
It's never going to stop.
I'm not trying to give away the book.
Right.
But in the book, towards the end, there's this interaction between the private investigators and Diddy's people, or Shay's people. And Shay, and what the story is, the talk. I'm not saying Shakespeare soliloquy versus monologue. Right. Let's just say there's a dialogue between all of them. It will never end. Right. You can take Sean Combs down.
Right.
Shay Cobbs. You can put him in jail. You can kill off Epstein. I call him in the book Epperstein. You can get rid of them all, and it ain't ever going to end. So you can win now, and 20, 30 years from now, it's going to happen all over again. And I'm not saying I hope it does. I'm just saying that's part of the book. That's part of the story of like a bunch of people are going to go down, but you're not curing cancer. You're not going to solve the problem of sex with young girls or young men. You're never going to get rid of that ever. So it's a fast look.
It needs to be some education, though, just in general about the whole entertainment industry when you're going in it, how you should not be leaving your child out there to go to said party alone and this, that, and the other.
It's about celebrity. It's, you know what it is, too? And I think, you know who says it pretty well? I don't know if it's Jaguar or Adria. You know, it might be Natanya Rubin. I think Natanya is a very powerful person. I got to know her. And she made some good points too about celebrity, that we just do anything for them. We give them all the money. They can do whatever they want. Sean Combs has got the key to New York. He's got the key to Miami. And
they took it back.
Yeah, I know. Well, because Ariel helped get the key back in Miami. You know. But my point is, she made a good point, and I knew this too, this hero worship. Thou shalt not worship false gods. Right. No false idols before me. Right. That's what it means. Yeah. It's saying because it's almost like God knew that if humans start doing that, they will abuse it. They will abuse it. Gomorrah. What's the story of Gomorrah? What's happening in LA right now? Fire and brimstone. I mean, it's sad. I'm not.
No, I know. Yeah, no,
but you know what I'm saying. Like,
I do know what you're saying.
Hollywood's coming to its reckoning. They've been abusing women and men and children for 100 years.
Facts. So, Chris, I really appreciate you coming through.
Thank you so
But
much.
thank you. But I gotta ask you, so I know you said, Natalia Rubin. So this is what I will give to her, hands down. She's a bad mama jamma in the sense that before this all became popular, before Cassie
Right.
came out with her lawsuit, she
Right.
been screaming from the top of her lungs, Diddy
Yep.
did it.
Yep.
She is the original whistleblower of Diddy did it. And God bless her for having that strength. And she's still alive and she survived. But for sure, way before all this popularity now, she said Diddy did it. Okay. I think that when you're low hanging fruit like Diddy is now, you're going to have those that turn against you. Shine is another story. That's for another story for another day. We could be here all night. You and I can do another day together again because we can talk about my theory on this Diddy trial. I do believe when it happens, many people thought he was going to snitch. I do not believe he will ever snitch.
Really?
Ever. Oh yeah, that's my thought. That's my thought. What is yours?
I think if I put my head in Sean Combs, who's a hustler, brilliant guy, had the Midas touch. Everything he touched turned to gold. The liquor, the alcohol, the clothing. Come on, think about it. Like maybe he did sell his soul to the devil. Maybe he did. Sean John and the Ciroc. And here's my point. He's sitting in a cold, rat-infested jail cell. This guy is a hustler. I think he's going to sing like a canary because I think he's going to realize, like, I may never get out of here. And they're not going to beat me. And when people get to that point, he's got to start taking somebody else down. The question is, though, will the U.S. Attorney's Office let him? They might say, we don't care. He might start saying, everybody, oh, but this celebrity did it too, and they drugged it. What? They might be like, you're the only one going. You're the only one. You're not taking everybody down.
So
I think he's going to try. My point is, I think he's going to try.
Okay, you think he's going to try? I'm telling you, 10 toes down, he's not. The reason why I'm saying that is because of the simple fact that people try to accuse his father, who he never really knew because the father died when he was 3, right? Of being a snitch. So I don't think he's going to want to go down in history as being a snitch like they accuse his father of being.
So you think he's going to take a 30-year jail sentence for all these people that he...
I think that right now in his mind, he's believing that he's going to get off somehow, that this is not going to happen. Yeah, I think he's believing
maybe
that.
like an OJ. He's almost like an OJ. I think this trial is close to kind of the OJ thing. I know they're different. It's the murder.
I'm connecting with you. I think it's bigger.
Okay.
I think it's bigger.
This is going to have some OJ feel to it.
Yeah, and I think once it starts, there's going to be a lot of salacious stuff that's going to come out. Sure. And I want to say this in the most respectful way I can, right? Because people just like to just go gutter real quick and say, don't victim shame. I think that, yes, Cassie suffered a lot in that relationship, but I think those two were like Bonnie and Clyde. And I think that, unfortunately, I don't think she bargained for this. So here's my theory on, because many people said, oh, if he would have just settled with Cassie behind the scenes. This is my theory. Cassie and the husband was getting money from Diddy all along.
Okay.
They was getting money from Diddy all along. And so they came for the big payday, and he was like, hell no. But because they was always bluffing back and forth for years, he never called to think she was going to come true on the bluff this time. So this time when he said, heck no, and she put it through and it came out, he said, holy crap. But it was already out there. You can't unring the alarm. So it was out there, and that's why he went and hurried up and paid it. But I'm willing to put money down on it that he was giving her and her husband money all along. Because she been had the evidence. She been had this. Yeah.
I never understood Sean's approach there to let that lawsuit come out. There's very damning stuff in that 32 pages, whatever it is. He should have settled that. I don't know what
because
he
didn't
thinking.
think he was going to do it. They've been calling. They've been going back and forth for years. He's been giving them money for years. The husband is a trainer. He didn't have the money like that, and so
no, of course not.
Yeah. So all of us can get used to the good life real quick, right? She was used to the good life, and so how do you continue somewhat of a good life? You gotta you gotta get the money.
Now you know what they're saying. What they're saying now is that Kim Porter was going to go for that too. That she was going to eventually.
That's what Albie Shore said. Yeah.
Yep.
I think
not just Albie Shore.
Others have said it.
Saying it now. Yeah.
Yeah, but somebody wrote in the chat and that we didn't know at the time. You know, Albie Shore is saying that Diddy did it to him. What happened to him? But with Albie Shore, what came out in that Peacock documentary was that Albie Shore had gastric bypass surgery. And that is the downfall and part of what happened to him, yada, yada, who. I mean, listen, Diddy would have to be super powerful that he can just get doctors, nurses, or just all kinds of people to do said things to these people. I'm not saying it's impossible, but, you know, Albie Shore is blaming his medical emergency on Diddy. It was rumored that, you know, even though Jamie Foxx debunked it, it was rumored that his medical emergency has.
Now, you know what? Well, I'll tell you right now, that Jamie Foxx theory came from this book. Okay. They never said, oh yeah, we ignited that. So in the first page regarding Kim's sudden death and the mysterious illnesses of Albie Shore and Jamie Foxx, evidence does exist that points to foul play and or poisoning. All that Jamie Foxx stuff started out of this book. People never said he was poisoned by Diddy. Okay, they didn't. That was super underground. That never was anything mainstream. They didn't know what happened to him. Nobody knew what happened to him. I'm telling you right now, though, with Albie Shore, you don't have massive organ failure from gastric bypass surgery. I'm telling you, something happened to him. As for
so let me say this, Chris, because I'm a nurse.
Okay.
Pediatrics, I did certified pediatric nurse.
You think Jamie Foxx had a stroke and didn't get paralyzed in any fashion at all, and he had a stroke and was dead?
He said he had to learn how to walk again. So let me
pretty good to me now.
Yeah, but let me just say this. You know, it was this thing in the hospital that everybody's well until they're not. There are sometimes people, just everyday people, you're walking around and you're like, oh my God, that one died, or that one had a stroke, or that one had a heart attack.
I know, but it's too coincident. With Albie Shore, look, Jamie Foxx is one. I have to look at it closer. I've been told, Courtney's told me things that are crazy. I don't know if they're true. So Jamie Foxx supposedly had filmed Diddy's parties. He had tapes. He was involved. Why is Kim talk about him in the book way back in the day? Why is he around? See, this is, they always talk about all these different people that just are dead around Diddy or been poisoned or sick. It's just, at some point, we've got to question it. Albie Shore's massive organ failure, I've looked at very closely. I believe it's either thallium, arsenic, or cyanide. That I believe he was poisoned.
So that's fine. He was poisoned, but then the hospital, the records and the lab work and the blood work should show that. It should be a slam dunk.
Well, not necessarily.
It should be a slam dunk.
You're a nurse, and I'm not going to debate you in a medical thing right now. But through my investigation, through my research and everything I've done on this and over the years, some of these poisons are undetectable. They're undetectable if you don't test for them right away. You will not know.
So here's the thing, though. What was interesting to me, and these are Albie Shore words from the documentary. Right. He claimed that, so all the people I think that he's feeling had helped Diddy do this to him. He's claiming that he documented everybody who came to see him, and they're in the file. That's Albie Shore words. They're in the file. So, but again, when with somebody in his condition, you usually are in the ICU. ICU is a 1-to-2 ratio, 1 nurse, 2 patients, and it's a highly monitored area. Listen, I can't say what happened to Albie Shore did not It's interesting. I think this trial is going to be interesting.
If you do some research on thallium, arsenic, cyanide, look at it. Look closely at some of those poisonings. You're going to see that it's hard to detect. A lot of these things are odorless, tasteless, clear.
No, Todd, I'm with you. But what I'm saying is, right, he went in for this gastric bypass surgery. And I'm not saying it's not possible to realize, okay, Diva's about to go for surgery. I want to take her life.
Right.
Get somebody in the hospital to help me. I'm with you. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
Right. I'm going to have to see if I could convince a nurse or a doctor or somebody in there to help me out so they could get this in
It's like Kim Porter, lobar pneumonia. She's her late 40s. She dies of pneumonia. There's no doctor. Why isn't she in a hospital? Why is Kim Porter at home? Like, this is what I'm saying. I'm not saying Diddy killed or poisoned these people. What I'm saying is we need to look. You're the LAPD and you just say, no, it's natural causes. No, dude, that's not how you do an investigation. There's all these people in the house. Where's Kim's phone? It's gone. Where's her laptop? Gone. You're the detective. You're not. Where's her phone? Who'd she text right before she died? Who's she talking to? Oh, it's gone because Diddy took it.
But like you said, though, right? Big Brother's watching. Even if somebody took that phone, you go to AT&T, Verizon, this, that, and the other, and you file and you get the records from said phone.
Sure.
Well,
in Kim's book, she says she calls the ambulance at 2 a.m. in the morning. Where's that call? Why
get the phone records.
Nobody's got it.
You can subpoena. It's called AT&T, this one, that one, and the other.
They fight you. I know, but they fight you. The phone companies fight.
Well, the phone companies fight for we can't even get our own stuff on the phone company, but the government can.
Yeah, they have to go through a judge. Yes.
Yeah, they can get it though. If you got Diddy behind bars and you really want to slam this guy badly, and you want to get him on something that's going to lock him away.
That's Al B's journey. Well, that's what Al B's saying subliminally.
I know what Al B's saying, but let me say this to Al B. My thing with Al B. Sure, I'm not saying that he shouldn't fight, but his fight should be a little different because he has a son in the middle of this.
He's in a weird position.
Yes, he is. Yeah. Yes, he is. You have Quincy. That's his mother. And no matter what story Al B. Sure wants to give us about Diddy and Quincy, at the end of the day, I heard Quincy out of his own mouth call Diddy Pops. So no matter what story Al B. Sure wants to give us, his son,
you know,
go ahead.
You know, it was really interesting that I learned too from Al B's thing, where he talks about that Quincy is Quincy Brown, right? Mm-hmm. And that Diddy never adopted him. But that was always the word, and so what it shows you is how the media stuck up for Sean Combs and how much he controlled the media. I believed it too. Like, oh yeah, Diddy adopted him when he was like 3 years old. I'm like, oh, okay. And then everybody else told me the same thing. I'm like,
but see, the problem I had with that, Chris Todd, because Al B. Sure in this Peacock documentary, he also mentions how Kimberly, he calls her Kimberly, how Kimberly,
Lady KP
wanted to protect him. He's the man. She was trying to protect him against Sean. She allegedly was telling him Sean will unalive you, right?
Okay, but do you see my point?
But what I'm saying is, my point is though, you're the man.
Right.
How do you allow your baby mother to try to save you? You should have been standing up to save her.
Well, they say that. Like, see, they always said Al was a deadbeat dad, right? That Diddy raised Quincy, but we don't know that because we're not seeing it.
But Chris, if Quincy out of his own mouth as an adult is calling Diddy Pops, I don't care what
he sticks up for Diddy all the time. He's on.
Well, that speaks volumes. It speaks volumes.
I know.
It speaks volumes. He's calling him Pops. It speaks volumes.
Yeah.
So Al B. Sure can say whatever the machine want. He has an Instagram. He has a Facebook. He has social media. He could have been putting out "Love you, Quincy," this with Quincy, that with Quincy.
No, instead he argues with Kimora Lee in the text. He calls her by her 5 married names. Did you see that?
Exactly.
The two of them are going at it. I'm telling you right.
Exactly.
I'm telling you right now, when you deal with rich, famous people,
Mm-hmm.
they are very incestuous. They stick together. So you look at it. Okay, so Quincy's real dad is saying his pseudo dad murdered his mom. Okay, and he just said it on a national TV.
Mm-hmm.
So what's Quincy thinking? And so Diddy's in jail looking at 30 years to life, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then his real dad, who he sort of has a relationship with, kind of likes. They did a music video together. They did a song together. They redid Night and Day. Like, so think about what position he's in. Then they got Kimora with them on the yacht, doing the trip with the girls, taking pictures at the prom. And maybe Kimora put out Kim's book that bashed it. I'm telling you, this is par for the course in Hollywood. This is what they do. They eat themselves. They eat each other.
No, I'm with you on that. The other thing is they eat their young. I will say this too. I think in Hollywood they all sleep together. They all pass each other around.
Yes,
and that's part of the problem too. So
they only trust each other. Do you get it?
I do
trust Chris Todd and Diva.
Right.
They don't date us. They date in the circles. You always see that. It's like Tom Brady's dating Bradley Cooper's ex-girlfriend.
Right.
Like, this is because they know the secrets.
They know
trust
the secrets.
each other. Yes.
Yeah.
OJ did this. Elizabeth Shue. He dated Tawny Katane. Like behind Nicole's back. Like this is anyway.
Well, I will say this. I think that the problem Diddy ran into is that this was what he was doing was the Hollywood norm, and he took it, but he took it to
way too far.
Yes. That's exactly what happened, right? But you got friends like that. You like, oh my God, they're doing the most. Diddy took the Hollywood norm to a whole nother sinister level
because nobody checked him.
Nobody checked him. And then finally his bubble burst and now it's a wrap.
And if you look at a lot of the rap labels, and I'm not going to say names because I don't want Green Squad's knocking on my door. Do some homework. A lot of those guys went to jail for murder, attempted murder, drug dealing. A lot of the most famous rappers, look at their companies. There's like always 1 or 2 guys that's either dead or is in jail. Like, so they ran these rap label, look at Suge, right? Look at 50 Cent's team. There was a lot of stuff where like, you can't really take the hood out of them, right? So yeah, they're making money and they're doing shows, but really deep down, just like Diddy, I think Diddy was pedigree. His dad was a hustler, dealer, close to Frank Lucas in the Harlem game, which was crazy stuff back then. His mom was sort of, they say, a hustler, right? We use the term. He is pedigree. He was built for this. He and I think he sold his soul to the devil. Courtney calls him Lucifer. I guess so does Ariel.
Yeah.
They call him the devil. I'm not saying it's Robert Johnson selling his soul to the devil to play the guitar, but it's pretty darn close. It really is. You look at what he did.
You know what? It's funny they call him Lucifer, but listen, there's 1,000 of Lucifers out there in the Hollywood scene.
Right.
I think that we create monsters. When you let me get away with slapping one employee in the face, the next thing is going to happen. I'm gonna slap 2. I'm gonna slap 3. I'm gonna slap 4. I'm not going to just say, okay, they let me get away with that. I dodged the bullet. I'm gonna stop. No, most people, you let them get away with it, just like the kids. They said, if you want to punish them, right? But if you're going to say you want punishment, but then you let them go to a party, they're going to know you a joke, right?
And that's why Natanya Rubin's story was important too, because she knew all the details. They threw the gun out of the car and it hit a cab, and the guy saw the hand throw the gun out of Sean's vehicle. He was acquitted, and Shine went to jail. Shine fired a gun too. So he deserved to go to jail.
I was going to say Sean is not that. Sean, you know
Right.
what? Sean is another story.
But who was with them? Jennifer Lopez.
Yeah. But listen, I want to wrap this thing up because Sean
Sure.
is another story. Sean is another one. You came out of jail and you had nothing negative to say about Diddy. But then the minute he gets in trouble, he's in jail. Now
he's got a documentary.
Yeah. Sean can miss the nonsense. Sean can miss me with the nonsense. And he want to act like he was so innocent, the honorable sign. Sir, you had that is insane.
I know.
You had a weapon also, and you did what you did, and you was in Sean's face afterwards, and you took money. I'm not taking money from the devil. I will work 3 jobs first.
Right.
I'll leave Target, go to Walmart, and then go to Starbucks so I can feed my family before I take money from the devil if that's who I say he is. So Sean missed me with the nonsense. He took the money to feed the people. You going to feed the people with dirty money?
Yeah, now he's a politician in Belize, right?
Yeah, he's another one. But listen, Chris, I had fun with you. I appreciate
you so much.
So listen, let's talk here. Your stuff. Yeah. Is this Kim Lost Words? Is it available again?
Yes. Well, I sent you the link. If you could.
Yes, I did put it in. I did put it in the description of the video.
Yeah, silvercoastpros.com, but it's not in the algorithm yet, so you're gonna have to use the link itself.
Okay.
So that link, because it takes a long time for it to get in the algorithm. But
right.
silvercoastpros.com. PROS.
Okay.
That's where Kim's Lost Words are, and so is Shame on Shay. That's my own website called Silver Coast Pros. Okay. And then the Shame on Shay is on Amazon. You can search in Amazon as Shame on Shay book Todd Chris. In this one, my name is Todd Chris. Okay. This time, just for a couple different reasons. But so yeah, both. But Kim's Lost Words is back up. We're not going to be silenced. Courtney and I decided we're not. I'll Be Sure is not going to tell us what projects and books we can write. We're not. So that's that's for Kim too. And if we find out Kim's book's fake, then somebody prove it to us and shed some light and let's go.
Okay, I'm putting I'm pasting the links in the chat here for Kim's Lost Words, Shame on Shay.
Yep.
You know, you got my information there. You ever want to come back through, you can come.
Absolutely.
And we'll see who predictions, yours or mine, this Diddy trial will come through. I'm telling you, I would be shocked.
You're not predicting. Wait, are you predicting an O.J. Simpson acquittal on Sean Combs or no?
Well, you know what? I told everybody I gotta let my feelings sit out with that. And the only reason why I'm gonna tell you why with that, this YSL case, who would have known that all of them would be back on the streets? Wow. Who would have known? Yeah. I'm gonna say this. I don't think Cassie's going to hold up well in the courtroom.
Okay.
I don't think Cassie never intended this.
Okay.
She got encouraged, and her husband
told her civil lawsuit, right?
She just wanted her money. She just wanted her money. She didn't intend all of this. So her husband encouraged her to turn over these tapes because she's in it, having sex. Do you really want to see? Because we all grow and evolve, right? Maybe something I did in 20.
I don't know if those are her tapes or Courtney's. I don't know.
I'm 10 toes down, Chris. Well, there we go. Okay. That's one thing we could come back on. I'm 10 toes down. They were hers.
All right. Okay.
10 toes down. They was hers. And because it talked early on about her handing over her tapes and her husband encouraging her to hand.
I just don't know if I believe that. That's my problem.
I hear you. So we will come back and talk about that. But I don't think she's going to hold up well on this stand.
I wonder if they're going to have Adria English as a witness too. I'm very curious.
So then we will have her. Then Diddy will walk. Because did you watch the YSL case? Because Adrian English is a Woody. Remember Woody from the case? He didn't know. He didn't say that. He didn't mean to say that.
I didn't watch it all.
Oh yeah, no. She's a Woody. And he blew up their whole case in the wrong way. Okay. I don't think she will hold up well in this thing. Matter of fact, let me say this to you, Chris. I don't think
that trial went on. That trial went on forever.
They got slammed. They got slammed for that, right? Wow. So I think a lot of individuals, and only because a lot of them are involved in the substances. Okay, I'll say it that way. I think a lot of individuals that have come forward, they won't hold up on the stand.
I got you.
The way that they would get Diddy, it would have to be one of these individuals that have really cleaned up their life, so to speak.
Right.
And yeah, a lot of them don't. They just want to leave that part of their life behind.
Right.
They don't want to talk about what happened to them because it was so sinister. They don't want to deal with it. But if they get one of those individuals, then it would blow his world out the water.
Well, we're gonna find out.
We're gonna find out, but we'll come back. So I'm 10 toes down. He will not snitch. Cassie's not gonna hold up on this stand well. Andrea English wouldn't.
They're gonna be calling you a Diddy agent. You better be careful, Diva. They're gonna talk tomorrow. They're gonna be like, oh, now we know who's getting paid from Sean.
Oh,
the gray-haired diva. Yeah.
No, I have to tell the people all the time. No, I do not. These are just diva thoughts. No, I do not get a dime. Don't know none of these people. But yeah, she's not gonna hold up. She's not built for this. And then it's gonna be hard because you know what? Your body and your mind always wants to tell the truth. Even if you tell a lie to do something, your mind really can only remember and will resort back to the truth. You can always remember parts of the truth, but you will never remember most of a lie.
Right.
It just doesn't happen that way. But listen, thanks for coming through.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. I dropped the link in the chat there, for Chris books that are out. Okay. Kim's Lost Words. We heard here that, which many people speculated, that Kimora Lee Simmons was the source. Okay. Then we have, the young lady that is allegedly taking care of the twins now. And said that she lived with Kim for a very long time. Right. And she's 10 toes down that Kim was never writing anything.
Well, that's why they have an issue, because when they start to figure out Kimora.
Right. It blew up.
But again, incestuous, this is for them to eat themselves.
Right.
They're gonna have to do.
It's what they have to do. So, and then you know what, like Diddy's not the only one. We got Russell Simmons, who allegedly won't come back to the States.
Kimora has a lawsuit with him next February or January. They have a big lawsuit, Kimora versus Russell Simmons.
Yeah, I know, over that water, that Celsius water is very big.
Yes, and there's a lot to it, yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot to it. And, now the ex-husband, he's in jail, right? He's serving time.
He's not in jail.
He's not?
They put one guy in jail for 10 years. I don't know if he testified against him, but they're trying to put him in, but they used his bail money, $40 million. That's what Russell wants. He said, you owe me $40 million because you used my shares to bail him out.
To bail him out. Okay, so I don't know why I thought he was locked up. Okay, so he's still fighting that. Okay,
Tim Leisner,
yeah, he's still fighting that. But I enjoyed our conversation.
Thank you so much
for coming through.
Yeah, I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, bye. Take care.
Bye.
All right, guys, listen, everybody. Thank you for being here. We truly appreciate you. If you didn't hit that like button on the way in, hit it on the way out. See you next time. Good night and goodbye, everybody.